Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It is Tuesday night. I had to double check. It's just been so busy lately. And we're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. I want to apologize in advance if we continue to have technical issues like we did on Friday. I reset everything, I restarted the computer, all that stuff, but it may be in my webcam or it may be in some other device. I don't know what the issue was. So hopefully we won't have the same issue. If we do, maybe we can recover from it without having to restart the stream. That would be awesome. Um, but what I'm hoping for is a nice low-key art night where we're just creating art and we're not having to worry about technical issues. So hopefully that's what'll happen. So what are we working on tonight? I thought this week I wanted to catch up on some pet requests that people have made. Tonight I'm going to work on a coffee painting of a kitty that somebody from the UK asked for, and then I think on Friday I'm going to revisit Larry's watercolor picture of his animals, his dogs. So it's just going to be pets all week. It's going to be great. It's going to be cool. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into it. I see there's some people in the room already. We have Rome Dog in here. We have Larry. We have Kid. We have Kid asking if the kitty that we're working on tonight is evil or scoopable. I mean, it can be both. Why not? So I'm just going to jump right in. Got the cat kind of sketched out here. I haven't done a cat in coffee painting style yet. I've done a lot of similar. Well, I've done a wildcat, so that's a little bit different than a house cat. So I'm not sure how this is going to turn out. I feel like I say that every single time I go to make a picture, but I really don't know on this one. So I'm going to move this guy to the side. You guys know how this works. I'm going to come in and I'm going to add some drippable areas. Where I think some cool little drip effects might be, and then we'll kind of go from there. I do like starting paintings like this. I think I'm going to try this in watercolor too. I haven't really gone crazy with my watercolor pictures on adding style to it, but people seem to like the splatter stuff. And I think it's cool, so I think I might try doing some of this stuff in watercolor as well. Kind of branch out and increase my skill set in watercolor, which is kind of lacking. I've given it some tries, and it never comes out exactly the way I want. But I do like the coffee paintings. Oh, Tom's in the house. Cool. Um, just to let you guys know, I did a coffee painting of a raccoon a few weeks back. Let's see. Let's get some trippy mess going here. Yeah, that's cool. I always like to have at least two streaks of coffee going. Um, I should probably grab the paper towel before I started this. There we go. All right, sorry. I'm never prepared. You guys know how it goes. Um, yeah, clean up some of this mess. I did a raccoon coffee painting a little while back, and I'm happy to report it has found a home in Kid's raccoon room, and it looks awesome. She sent me a picture of it up on the wall, and I'm hoping I can get that posted to the community tab because it looks cool. That room is just so fun. Like, Kid, man, I wish I had a room like that in my own house. The only thing I've got in my house is maybe like an art room full of like art pictures everywhere. But I would love to have a raccoon inspired room. I think that's just the coolest thing. I think you're onto something there with that interior decoration theme. But just adding a little bit more splotches here, just because I feel like the two little splotches aren't enough for this kitty. I want this kitty to really just kind of get some gravity going. There you go. I think that's probably good. Good to start. All right. And then coming in, the next step is to block out some areas. But yeah, I really wanted to work on some of these things that people have asked me to do for a while. I just get so busy. I mean, there was a drawing I wanted to do over the weekend. This is how bad it is. There's a drawing I wanted to do, which usually don't take it doesn't take me too long to do. It's not like these pictures here that can take up to a couple of hours. Um, I just wanted to do this simple drawing over the weekend. I just could not find time. I mean, it's not like I don't have free time. It's just when it comes to free time, I have to pick and choose what I want to spend it on. Like today, I actually stole time away for like I feel like I'm stealing time from myself whenever I take a break and do something fun. Um, Not this art stuff. This art stuff, I feel like I've done it for a while now, so it feels like it's just part of the routine. So I feel like I'm not stealing time from myself to do art pictures, but definitely whenever I do something else, like I go for a walk or something like that, I feel like, man, should I really be taking a walk or should I be productive right now? So, um, for example, today I stole some time to myself, and I'm saying it like I did something wrong, but I really, really am glad I did this. It was so fun. Um, I just like left in the middle of the day and loaded up my bike with my dad. My dad went with me, and we went mountain biking. Not really mountain biking. It's just like this old like abandoned road out in the woods and stuff. There's mountain biking trails around it, but we went on the paved part, and it was just so nice. Like just middle of the day on a weekday, just out there biking. Went out there for a good hour or two. Um, Saw a deer. It was like a big mama deer out there in the woods. It was great, and there was a rabbit running through like this little kind of meadow area. I love things like that. Stealing time for yourself. I think that it's important. And you know, I don't feel like we do it enough. Like I don't feel like I do it enough. Um, it really is stealing time though. Like it always seems like my time is obligated to like clients, like family and everybody but myself. So I think it's cool to like steal time for yourself every now and then. That's my words of wisdom for the day. So I know we did a cat recently and stuff, but and I like that how that cat turned out. Like the cat we did, the charcoal one. I really like how that turned out. I know maybe it doesn't match everybody's style, but like for me, I really like that kind of like loose expressive style. But we hadn't done a coffee picture with a cat. So I think this is kind of long overdue. And then the other one I haven't done. Hey, because I can's in here. Sweet. I'm happy to report the lemur that I did the other day has found a home because I can snatch that up. So cool. I love it when the artwork finds a home. Like all this crap behind me, I feel like they're like, I don't know, like orphan children just like living on a wall or something like that. Like, don't get me wrong, none of these belong in people's homes. They're all just like various tests and so on. They're not anything that like I would hang up. Well, I hang them up because like I did, but I there's nothing that I would expect anybody else to hang up. But anyway, um, point is, I love it when art finds a home. That's like the best feeling. Like even with the bottles that I submitted to that thing. I'm still working on that video. Like I feel like I should have done that video already, showing off all the different bottles and stuff. But I'll get to it. Those are still up for auction. Will be until May 6th. So that is unresolved at the moment. I feel like this is the busiest spring. Yeah, it does look owlish, doesn't it? It's got the pointy ears like the great horned owl. The owl is actually the one coffee painting that people seem to really like that I did. People love owls for some reason. It's kind of weird. I never really would have thought that a lot of people would be into owls or elephants, and those are some of my pictures that I get the most compliments on. People really like that charcoal elephant I did, and people really like that coffee owl I did. Which I got to meet the person who ended up with that picture. Kevin is my friend. He's the one who commissioned. Well, he's the one who got it off of me, and then he it turned around and gave it to a coworker of his, and I got to meet her. So that was cool. I'm telling you, I just want. I don't know. I feel like I when I first got Guinness, it was through all of my dogs are like rescue dogs. But this one was from like somebody who had I mean, Guinness was from somebody who had was like a foster parent for the dogs and stuff like that. And it was kind of cool meeting the foster parent for Guinness before like Guinness became our dog. And oh, they love Guinness. They called him Simon. My dog Guinness was named Simon to begin with. I think he's already forgotten all about that. But you know, they love Guinness. They wanted to keep tabs on Guinness. They wanted us to send updates and all that stuff. That's how I feel like with my artwork. You know, my artwork is like a little children you put out in the world. That's the way I look at it, at least. Like hopefully this kitty will find a home and it'll brighten up somebody's house or room or something like that. Eh, it's a way to look at it, you know. This is a dark kitty, like this is a kind of a black cat, so really I have to be careful and make sure I get the tone right. So like all of this will eventually be toned in, and then I've got to make some areas darker just so that it works really well for a black cat, blackish cat. Looks like the copy Big Bird so far. It does look like a copy Big Bird. It'll come together at some point. I got to put Geppetto back in the shot. Geppetto's got a new hammock, which I'll probably roll out when I'm not working on this board here. But people have been giving me like little accessories for Geppetto. Like I've got a hat around here. I've got a scuba diving outfit for him, which when it warms up, I'll probably dress him in. Basically, people like Geppetto, so they've been buying like getting me like little accessories for him. It's kind of cool. I suspect most of these accessories are from like Barbie dolls or something like that. He's about the same size as a Barbie doll. He's a cool little guy. I like him. Geppetto's my good friend. We talk a lot. Cat so far looking English. Let's see. It will be percolating. I like it. You guys always have the best kind of dad jokes. Where's Mama Q at? She's got the best ones. Like she's always doing the best dad jokes in here. Every now and then Packer Jack will come in with one. Yeah, he's just be styling. Let's see. All right, so some of this area I have to wait until it kind of like dries a little bit to add some more layers to it because like a lot of this is just splotched out. You guys know the drill. I think I'll work on this eye here. Well, I think I'll get started on just toning in the eye. I don't want it to be too dark because basically the eye's green, but I do want it to be a little bit different than the fur around it. Something about painting and coffee I really like. It's a lot of fun. I never thought that this would be the thing that I enjoy doing the most. I mean, I don't know if it's the one I enjoy doing the most, but it's up there. I really do like painting and coffee. Sometimes I just like sketching, you know, just drawing. That's what I wanted to work on over the weekend, and I just couldn't find time for it. I still hope to do it. Uh, I don't think it's a spoiler to like tell you guys what I wanted to do. There's a trend on YouTube where you draw like a face and the eyeballs and stuff, and the eyeballs like following what you were doing. So like if I'm like working on his mouth, the eyes will be looking down. If I'm working on the ears, the eyes will be looking up. I thought that was so cool. I love that trend. I still want to do it. I might do it like tomorrow, but I didn't have time over the weekend, which kind of sucks, but it's okay. I got a lot done. But I still think looking at back over the last year, I guess it's almost been a year and a half since I started this art journey. I feel like being an artist or like just tackling these projects and stuff have made me more productive in like other things I do. It's so beneficial to like everything that I participate in. Um, so I find that I observe the world around me a little bit closer since drawing and creating art. I feel like I manage my time a little bit more closely, knowing that I have 2 hours to create a picture. You know, it's just all these little things, all these little side effects of being a YouTube streaming artist. You know, which I guess is a little bit different than just being like an artist because, if I was just doing this kitty picture on my own, I don't care how long it takes, like, or I'm not, I could get up and leave and come back or something like that. It's a lot different being a YouTube, um, a YouTube artist than it is just being an artist in general, I think. And I think that the things that a YouTube artist, ends up doing is all beneficial. Like, as far as like just being I don't know, better at better at things. I don't know. I don't have the right words for it. I just know that over the past year and a half, like a lot of things have changed, and I think it's because I started doing art on YouTube. And I'm glad I do it on YouTube. Like I feel like if I had just started doing pictures, like drawing pictures and stuff like that, um, I probably would have given up on it. I think really, having this community here, talking to you guys, interacting with you guys in the chat, I think that that is really what keeps me going, as far as like doing art. I do think that I probably would have abandoned it a lot sooner if I didn't have this community keeping me going. Because there are times like, you know, like a movie's on or something like that, or like, well, not really, movies on. I guess that's a bygone era. Um, I guess like it would be more like, I don't know, a marathoning like a show or something like that, and I'm like, yeah, do I really feel like doing a art piece? I always feel like doing an art piece. I always do. I always feel in the creative mood nowadays, which I didn't in the past. Um, but I always think like, well, I could just put it off or something like, oh, I don't have to do it today. I mean, I just did one on Tuesday. Why am I doing one on Thursday? But I think it's important to keep that schedule. I think those are some of the benefits that I'm talking about, like, just making you a better person, or making me a better person. I, I, I don't know. It's hard to put into words, but I just feel like, well, I dare say I think I'm in a good mood today. Like, I think that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about I'm in a good mood. It was a good day. Well, it was a long day, but it was a pretty good day today. It's been a decent week. Hopefully, hopefully things will continue going on the up and up. I've got some things I'm looking forward to this week, like that horse show this week. It's such a big deal for me. I really enjoy going to that horse show. Like thousands of people show up and stuff. It's all outdoors. You get to see the beautiful animals in their most athletic fashion. Like they're jumping things that they really should not be jumping. It's just crazy how they defy gravity. Um, I'm talking about the horses and stuff, but yeah, it's just such a cool event. So that's this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. I'm doing some art based on that. I don't know what yet. I think I'll probably do like a horse doing a jump or something like that. I'll probably like paint that or something like that. Um, that's cool. Instead of waiting for paint dry, you're waiting for coffee. Oh, there's nothing worse than waiting for coffee in the mornings. I tell you that. I've gotten a little spoiled. I got an espresso machine a while back, and I don't know what I ever did without it. Like, I remember the days when you would put on like a coffee percolator or something. This espresso machine is like, it just spits out the coffee. It just steams presses it like, shh. And it's like, oh, if I didn't have that, I don't know what I'd do. But yeah, that horse show this weekend, I'm really looking forward to that. Next weekend is Derby Day, which is awesome for around here. I know that not everybody's into like the Kentucky Derby, but when you live in Kentucky, you're kind of obligated to be into it. And it's a big deal. It's basically, I don't know, the actual horse race itself, as you guys know, it doesn't take very long. It's like, what do they call it, the fastest 2 minute or the greatest 2 minutes in sports or something like that. It's not the actual horse race isn't what it's about. It's about taking the day, hanging out with people, enjoying a cocktail. Like the mint julep is a big one for Derby Day, and of course all the ladies and stuff. They pull out the fashions and the big hats and all that fun stuff. all the guys, we wear bow ties. I don't have a bow tie. Everybody else wears bow ties, but um, bow ties and suspenders. That's the big thing. I don't know. I don't know why we do things. It's fun though. Hey Ida, how's it going? Yes, another awesome coffee painting. This one is of a kitty cat for a guy in the UK. I don't know if he wanted his name out there, so I can't really tell you who it is. But he's the guy who's been in here a couple times. You know, more viewers from the UK than I would have thought. But yeah, see, there's 13 more days for the auction of the bottle. Yes, it ends May 6th. And they've reduced the prices. So like I'm kind of curious where that goes. So like I haven't made a bid yet. I am holding off until I see what they do. Because right now they've substantially lowered that. So I don't know with like the stuff that people have donated and like what people have pledged. I'm not really sure what I have to spend, but the cheaper the better. I think that's just good common sense. So I'm waiting to see where it goes. Yeah, coffee paintings are a lot of fun. I think you should try it, Ida. I mean, it's just basically watercolor. You're you're just taking coffee and putting it on the paper, controlling where it goes. It's a lot of fun. Um, Ida has been doing some cool charcoal pictures on on her channel. I encourage people to go and check that out. The channel name is, her name, so you can easily find it. But yeah, I think she mentioned she was going to school or something, taking art classes in school, and they've been teaching charcoal, which is something I use a lot on this channel, so you guys are familiar with it. It's definitely one of my favorite mediums. Um, Different people like different things. But between the two, charcoal and graphite drawing, I've always liked charcoal. And there's a number of reasons why. There's really no substantial difference. Like anything you can do in charcoal, you can also do in graphite. Like there's no real reason why um, one should like one more than the other. Um, okay, Larry, yeah. I'm not putting you in for another 100. You've been generous enough. The those bottles will probably end up in this house at some point. And I haven't decided what I want to do with them after they end up here. I want to kind of do some sort of like charity thing with them where I don't know. I'll have to decide. I haven't had a chance to put a lot of thought into it, but those bottles will either somebody will outbid me or I will bid on those bottles and win them myself. That's almost a guarantee at this point because they have come down to an affordable price. Like right now, they're basically like double what they would be. Um, if you just bought the bourbon itself. I think Cabin mentioned that they, normally cost like $70, and I think they're down to like 150. So that's basically double their value. Um, but if I bought it, I would want that art to find a home anyway. Like I wouldn't want the bottle to remain here. Like maybe the bourbon. Like I'll drink the bourbon. Don't get me wrong. But I wouldn't want the bottle to remain here. So I would want to make sure that that gets back to somebody, like somewhere. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm keeping a watchful eye on it, but I'll probably talk more about it in the that video that I will probably post up this week about the bottles themselves because like I've been meaning to post that. Um, Most of you guys have already gone and looked at the bottles and everything like that, but I still wanted to create a video. I told them I would. So so many things to get done. I really don't want this cat to end up looking like Grumpy Cat. Like that's my sole fear here because he's such a he or she. Oh, sorry, it's a he. I think. Well, I guess it could still be a she. The name is Jax. The kitty cat's name is Jax. So I'm afraid of making Jax look mean or something like that because Jax looks adorable in this photo I'm looking at. Hey, hater in the house. Ida says, took a couple of art classes last week and we did a lot of charcoal. It's very fun. I like how free it is. Yeah, yeah. And I noticed that you were doing like, like figures and stuff like that. I would love to do some of that stuff myself. Um, so all I can say is like keep at it and wish you all the best. Like hopefully you stick with that. Um, I saw a little glitch on the video. This better not crap out on me like it did on Friday. I'm gonna have to. I'm. I think I'm gonna have to replace my webcam. Maybe that's the thing. But just keep our fingers crossed. Anyway, let's see what's. I like how with your copy art you slowly build up the details. It's very cool to watch. Yeah, I think that's the process. So, I've done enough of these now where I feel like I've got the process down. Um, you never know how these things are going to turn out because it is kind of like a little bit, each one's different. Um, but I think I have the process down to where I can kind of like predictably figure out what's going to happen. I can talk about that. So it is where you kind of mass it out with like these like just the pools of coffee, right? That's what it would look like if you actually spilt your coffee cup or something like that. You end up with these pools of coffee. Um, and then, as those dry, you can come back with a smaller brush and just kind of add details over it. And it does end up being several layers that you're building up because like you can't while it's wet end up adding like a bunch of fine details because it'll end up just getting blotted and like over here it's still kind of wet. If I tried to put a line in there, it just kind of blots into all of this stuff. So you have to be careful about the blots. And then if it's dry enough and you can get enough syrupy coffee on your brush, then you can really get some darker, more fine details and stuff. And then I think the third part of the process is that like once you're happy with all the details and it looks like a kitty cat to you or a raccoon or whatever it is that you're doing, then you come back and you add some like stylish effects like the paint splashes and the coffee cup circles and things like that. Um, I've been told that's my signature style, adding those little effects, which I'll take. That sounds cool. But yeah, I think that's the process. But you never really know, like no two ones look alike. Although I was pretty happy with the one I did for the bottle where I was recreating the owls and the deers. I think those ended up looking like the originals. So I was pretty happy with those. Hey Tim's Adventures. We really do have a party. I feel like there's more people in here on Tuesdays than Fridays, which makes sense. People probably out having a good time on Fridays. But maybe I'll start or not Fridays, Thursdays. Maybe well then now it doesn't make sense. It makes sense that people are out on Fridays but not Thursdays. I am thinking about introducing like a third day or something like that for this live streaming because I feel like it's nice to take a break, but I don't really like taking too many breaks. Yeah, see, the video's starting to glitch again. Why is that? I don't even want to mess with it. All right. Well, if that video glitches, hopefully it doesn't cause the other video to glitch. As long as you guys can see the cat, you guys don't need to see me. I'm there's no real reason to see me. Um, but if as long as you can see the cat, that's all that matters. In fact, let me uh let's see what happens if I go like this. Yeah, let's see if this works out better. All right, so I'm just gonna turn myself off for a minute and see if that fixes some of that glitching. Yeah, see if that fixes it. Because you guys don't need to see me. You don't care. You know what I look like. I'm not as cute as this cat. It's Wednesday for me. Oh no. Well, hello from the past. It is Tuesday night here. It is Tuesday night at 8:30 where I am. I usually try to do this at 8 just in case people on the eastern side are watching this. I don't like to go too late. Eastern side of the US. Hey MJ, how's it going? I'm doing good. I'm actually in a pretty good mood today. things are going pretty okay. I don't want to jinx things. Doing all right. I like this brush. I don't know where I found this brush. I'm gonna have to keep this one to the side. It's like going on pretty smooth. Yep, you're in the future. You put your hummingbird feeders out yet? Oh, yeah. So like I wanted to comment on that. It is full blown spring out there. Like the weather is beautiful. Like it is so hard to be spending any time indoors. Um, at least this past week. The weather's been really nice. It's not too at least where I'm at. It's not too cold. Like there was a little bit of frost out there on the cars. Um, like yesterday morning, but other than that, it's been pretty good. Uh, Probably in the and this wouldn't mean anything to you, you guys over in other countries on your whole metric scale, but in Fahrenheit, it's been anywhere from 40 to 70 degrees out, which is nice for this area. I don't know what that would be in Celsius. I don't think I paid attention in school during those classes. Sorry. Jeremy, there appears to be some suspicious glitching. Yeah, I know. Like, hopefully it's just with the camera on me. I have another webcam I can use, and I think I'm going to pull that out just in case it is the webcam. Uh, I don't know what the deal is. If it starts affecting this camera, then that kind of sucks because like this is what matters. I don't know why I'm glitching. It's probably because I'm in the past and we're talking to Ida in the future. It's like some sort of time travel thing. That's what I'm gonna consider it. But yeah, it's glitching for some reason. It's connected to the USB. I reset all that. Obviously, I've restarted my computer since Friday. It might just be that webcam. But I don't really know because like on Friday it was both cameras glitching out. I don't think it's not YouTube. It's not my internet connection. It's something in the stuff, the internal stuff. Ida says also I'm going. MJ says Kitty looks serious. Yeah, I need to soften this up a little bit. So the problem is I do all my wildlife pictures, and my wildlife pictures end up, you know, looking a little fierce. I guess I would call it, because they're like nature animals and stuff, and they need to like look a little fierce out there in the wild. Um, but this kitty's supposed to be soft and cute and stuff. So I need to soften him or her up. Well, I'm just gonna call him a him because his name is Jax. I know that that's probably goes both ways. You could be a girl Jax maybe, um, but I'm gonna call Jax here a guy. Yep. Time traveling, messing up the webcams. It's I don't know, it's like the Matrix or something. It's just glitching. It doesn't bother me if it's just me. I mean, I'll turn myself off. I don't care. I don't need to be on here. I'm just here so that you guys see me talking. Um, as long as it doesn't glitch out the kitty cat, we're good. And I'll continue looking into that. I'll probably put a different camera on this or something because I have an almost identical one because ended up ordering two of those way back in the day, and I don't use the other one, so maybe I'll fish that out. And one of these days, I'm gonna get one of those fancy $700 cameras that will just make my art look nicer. Actually, that's what I'm afraid of. I don't want my camera to be too good because then you'll see all the mistakes in my picture I'm doing. It's what was that? Wasn't that the concern when they went to like everything went to HD instead of SD? Um, Out there it comes glitching again. Um, like all the actors and actresses were concerned that like the high definition was going to expose all their like warts and like I don't know acne and all that stuff. That's how I feel about my art. If I end up with too good of a camera, you guys are going to see that my art sucks and it's not worth looking at. I just says also going to be making a second YouTube account for animations only. Oh, that's awesome. Um, there are a couple programs that I have used in the past. So in the past, I've used Adobe Animate for animations. I used to do that all the time. Animating takes so much time though. But anyway, I used to use Adobe Animate. Um, there's a newer program. I forget. I installed it. What did I call it? Hopefully this. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Hold on. Let me put myself back. What is that program I installed? It was yeah, Krita. Have you ever heard of Krita? It's apparently something that people are using for animation nowadays. I checked that out and it seems pretty straightforward. So I was thinking about doing some animations myself, um, using that Krita, maybe like some stick figure animations, something like that. I've done a couple of cartoon characters in the past. I know it doesn't look that way since I do this kind of style of art, but I have done some cartoons. So I might actually do some animations as well, Ida. That'd be cool. Uh, don't mess with me look. Yeah, this kitty's got a don't mess with me look. Like, oh, I just woke up. Just woke up. Don't stare at me. Let's see. I think we can soften the kitty up. Remember, this is just the first pass. We got a ways to go on the kitty. I do think I'm going to switch to, I think I have a smaller brush here. Yeah. So this is where I'm going to try to get some darker areas in. So again, talking about the process real quick. So what I like to do is usually I just, I throw in some water and I got the coffee with it and stuff. But for this part where I like to put in some of the finer details, notice how I just poured some water on here and it's kind of like collapsing this mound of coffee. It's because I want this area here to be like quite syrupy. So if you notice, see how dark that is? That's what I want for like the details. So anyway, I just wanted to show that real quick, so that you guys can see the process because I know some of you guys are interested in that. Um, Kitty seems to be focused on something. I wouldn't say angry kitty. Yeah. So I did that bird like a little while back, and that's what the kitty's focused on. The kitty wants the coffee bird I did. Nah, this kitty's gonna be. This kitty's so adorable. It can't help but look cute. It doesn't look angry. It won't look angry. It looks angry now, but it won't. Yeah, remember it's a black kitty cat, so gotta soften them up anyway. So he's got a rather dark brow here. And that's kind of what makes Kitty look a little angry is this brow. But I think we can cheat and kind of bring the brow down a little bit, like over here at the corners. That might soften them up a little bit instead of like like the like the evil eyebrow kind of thing. Hey everyone, I recently got myself a gray parrot. Awesome. I really want to train him and have him for a long time. Give me some advice on what I should feed him on a regular basis. I don't know a lot about what parrots eat. Um, I do know that if you don't want him to start cursing all the time, do not let him around college kids because I used to go to this pet store in this college town, like on campus and everything, and they had a parrot there. I want to say that parrot was there for like years because it always seemed to be there whenever I went to this particular pet store. But because it was on campus, you had a lot of young people come in and all that was the most foul-mouthed parrot I have ever met in my entire life. That all that thing knew was like curse words, and it would not be shy about like putting them out there either. Like I don't. I guess I'm entitled to repeat some curse words every now and then on this channel, even though I do consider family friendly. Basically, when you went into that pet store, that bird would tell you to fuck off, and it happened all the time. So don't do that. Oh, you're gonna name him Caden. Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's a cool name. But yeah, just watch who you let it around. You don't want that bird developing a foul mouth. As far as what they eat, I have no idea, man. You're gonna have to look that up. I'm sure that it probably consists of like nuts of some sort, maybe pistachios. I want to say I saw that in a movie once. Yeah, Caden's a great name. I really want him to curse or swear all the time. To imagine a thick Cockney accent. That would be amazing. Um, all right, new plan, new plan. I want you to have the most foul mouth parrot in all existence, and I want you to start a new YouTube channel where all you do is have that bird just like basically curse everybody who comes in the room. That would be amazing. I would definitely watch that channel. That would be awesome. Like Kate and the Cockney parrot. Oh man. Oh, that would get you beyond YouTube, man. You can get like a whole proper TV show out of that. That'd be great. I love Cockney accents, by the way. Yeah, I feel like that would be great for a parrot. Imagine seeing a cute little parrot and then it just starts cursing you out, right? That's my new expectation. That's what I hope comes out of this. It's like, oh, you're adorable. Ah, fuck off, fuck off. I need to do the accent though. I can't do the accent. I don't know how to do a British accent of any type. I have tried in the past and they just come out really bad. The only thing I can do is like a redneck, you know, Southwest United States accent or something like that. Or, well, I guess you have rednecks everywhere. But I grew up around a bunch of rednecks. Most of my family's from like South Carolina, so and they have really thick accents too. Like my cousins and my aunts and uncles and stuff. My mom, if you get her on the phone and get her like really riled up, I mean, she has a really deep Southern accent. I don't know where I lost mine. Probably living in the Midwest area so much. Um, but judging by my cousins who have lived basically in South Carolina their whole lives, um, or thereabouts, they've gone up to North Carolina and Georgia and things like that. But judging by them, I probably would have ended up with a pretty thick Southern accent if I had lived down there my entire life. But fortunately, my dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot, and I didn't end up living in one place for too long. So I've got a pretty generic accent, I think, if an accent at all. Nobody thinks they have an accent, but everybody does. Or I find that like when I get animated, sometimes maybe I have a particular way of talking, like when I get riled up or something. But for the most part, I don't think I have too much of them. But I want your bird to have one. I want your bird to have a great accent. That would be cool. And Caden is a cool name. Yeah. Are these the type of birds that want it to be like dark, to sleep and stuff like that? Like some birds, you have to put like a blanket over their cage. That would be kind of cool if like I don't know, they had this kind of like I don't know, like lights out, lights out. That would be cool. I'm very interested in your parrot now. I really want you to do a YouTube video with your parrot. See, I think we're getting a softer kitty here. Like, what's that? Big Bang Theory. Soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. I don't know if I'm singing it right, but that's what I'm going for here. This is in fact a British cat, or at least somewhere in the UK. So, if this cat would talk, it would have an accent. I think I can soften this guy up. The cool thing about coffee paintings as well is they're so forgiving. I know it doesn't look like it, and truthfully, it does stain the page as soon as you add coffee to it. But outside of like just having like a little bit of stain here or something like that, you can erase coffee like just with water. It's very easy to do. Like if I wanted to erase this entire eye, I could probably do that. And like any mistakes and stuff I made, like if I wanted to mop this up and make this disappear, I probably could. I think that's one of the other reasons why I like painting with coffee. Um, it is super forgiving. I like the style of it, but I feel like I can get the style in other mediums. So I often wonder, like, well, what is it about the coffee itself that you like? Because people ask, and I feel like I need to be able to answer that because I really do like coffee, and it's tough to put into words why I like. Well, first off, I like to drink coffee. Coffee is an amazing product. I don't know how I would live without it. Um, but beyond that, I uh, I feel like I need to justify that why I like painting and coffee because people ask that all the time. Like when I mean, I keep referring to those bottles because like that was like where I went and met with actual artists, like other people who actually do art. And inevitably it comes up like, "Oh, that's coffee. Wow, that's amazing. Like, why do you work with coffee?" And it's like, "I don't know, because it's fun. Because I find it easy to work with. I don't know. It's tough. I don't know if I have a good reason. But I think if I thought about it enough, I probably could come up with good reasons. Like it, it shouldn't be so hard to come up with a good reason because like it it does look cool. So there's that. It is easy to work with. I do like the style of it. It is forgiving. I like the aspect that not many other people are doing it, so that I feel like I'm doing something a little bit different than what other people are doing. I don't want to do the same thing that other people are doing. Oh, that's cool. Oh, Ida, yeah, go eat your lunch. I appreciate that. You coming in. Yeah, anytime you guys need to leave. Like, if you guys are watching other things while you're watching my show, that's all cool. Yeah, just put it on the background, and I actually thought I've got I've got over 24 hours of these coffee paintings. Can you believe it? There is Tim says my accent's pretty strong. Where are you from, Tim? Um, I went back and I looked at my coffee paintings that I've done on YouTube, and I've got about 24 hours worth of video. I tend to use y'all over yonder a lot. Yeah. Yeah, you won't hear any complaints from me. Like I said, most of my extended family are from the South. So I kind of grew up with all of that and stuff. I don't think I say y'all a lot myself. Somewhere along the lines, I got in the habit of saying you all. But it's still in my system. Especially when I go and hang out with my cousins and stuff for like any extended period of time. And I do. I try to go down to South Carolina at least every couple of years, maybe not as often as I can. But they also come up here sometimes. Like I feel like as everybody's getting older and stuff like that, like my uncles and aunts and things like that, they've been traveling a lot more, and I feel like I've seen them a lot over the last couple of years. Plus, I have some younger family members that are marrying age, so they're like getting married and stuff like that. So family shows up for things like that. So I feel like I'm seeing a lot more of these guys than maybe I have in the past. But anyway, when I get around them and stuff, I feel like I have more of an accent than I normally do, I guess. I just feel like I have a nasally accent. Like that's my accent. I just sound like I'm always like got a cold or something like that, which is understandable. I do have allergies, so my nose is always like like feels like I have a cold, but um see, this kitty's looking softer. You guys were worried about it. This kitty's looking cute. Like up here, it looks like a big old teddy bear now. It looks like an Ewok. You guys remember Ewoks from oh, Florida, Georgia? Yeah, that's y'all country. I don't know. I feel like they say y'all as far up as, well, Kentucky. Like I feel like maybe Ohio is the cutoff. Like in term, I mean, there's still like people who say y'all in Ohio. There are some major rednecks in Ohio. Not saying that you guys are rednecks. I'm just saying there are some rednecks in Ohio, but I feel like the ratio of rednecks per capita probably cuts off here in Kentucky. Like we have a lot of rednecks per like basically we're everywhere, and I count myself as one of them too. Like I don't always present as a redneck, but yeah, I'm a redneck. Um, and by redneck, I mean the good qualities, like where you just I don't know, just you prefer simplicity. You don't you don't you don't like things to be complicated. You're just you're down to earth. You know, you got a good head on your shoulders. You know that kind of stuff. Practical. These are qualities that I consider as a red. I don't use redneck as a pejorative. Well, there I gotta use a big word. Sorry. Um, I don't use the term redneck as an insult. I actually like redneck people, country folk. You know, people with farms and things like that. Not necessarily farms, but just rural areas. I live in a pretty rural area. Lexington isn't that big, but I kind of live a little on the outside of Lexington anyway. It's a nice area around here. A lot of like basically there's horse farms everywhere. I went. I mentioned I went on a mountain bike trail earlier today, and sure enough, there's horses out there. It's a horse trail as well. So like that's what you end up seeing. You go for a bike ride, and you end up seeing horses on the same trail that you're on. That's the kind of world I live in. There's a bunch of wild parrots around here. Where were you from, Tom? I forget. You might have mentioned before, but I forget. Tom has the life I want to live. Like he's got the most amazing bar, and you know, so skinny legs that make your cat look angry. Those aren't legs. Those are drippage. Kid says that I have to go all the way over yonder to see the rednecks in my neighborhood. I mean that's the kind of neighborhood you want to live in, though, right? That like something that you've got that much space between you. I live in a like a suburb kind of deal. It's not ideal. I would rather live out in the country. Um, I've lived I've lived in various areas. Like, well, my folks had like 40 acres, so I've lived out there for a while. I've lived like in like farmhouses, things like that. I prefer to be away from people. I prefer like a middle ground, right? So like I prefer to be away from people to where I could go out on my front porch, um, in a robe or something, and nobody's ever going to see me. But also, I want to be close enough to amenities, right? So like, I don't want to have to drive a half hour to go to the grocery store. I want to, yeah. There, all right. So the basic rules, right? So one rule is I don't want to drive a half hour to go to a grocery store. Like, it's not a bad request. Like, I want to live close enough to where I can be at a grocery store within 15 minutes at the latest. Like, I prefer five, but 15 minutes is fine. Because I have lived in places where you drive a half hour before you even get to a gas station. That's how far out in the boonies you are. Um, it's nice, but man, it's so hard to live out, especially when you're younger. Like when I lived out there, I was pretty young, and oh man, I would get so bored, and it was so quiet all the time. I can't take super quiet. Like now that I'm older, I prefer quiet. Like sometimes I like to put on headphones so that people think I'm listening to music, but really I just tuning everything out. I do that a lot. I did that today. But yeah, I like to tune things out. I like quiet now, but when I was younger, man, oh, being out in the boonies and stuff, it's just too quiet. It just drove me nuts. Um, but you know, I was a young man. I was up for adventure. I wanted to go and see the world, do things and stuff like that. So back when um back when I was younger, it was hard to live on a farm, I guess. Um, Drove me nuts. But, you know, now that I'm older, I kind of miss it. Yeah, this kitty's starting to look soft. You guys always have, always so doubtful. So I think the eyes are still lined up, but I have to be careful because it looks like this one is, no, they're lined up. I just need to get, yeah, all right. Sorry, just thinking out loud. I need to get some, need to get this dark line underneath this one as well, but it's not as dark. It's amazing how little features like this matter so much. You know, like just this little line of fur here, where the bottom of the eye kind of indents the fur. Like it's all fur, but it indents the fur so that there's like a little bit of a shadow there, kind of. And then it's also a little bit of fur coming down through here. I really should just do a bunch of coffee paintings. I feel like I really enjoy doing them. Oh, Tom's from Long Beach. I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you. You want a pub down the street? I do want a pub down the street. I've got a pub down the street here, and it's not a proper Irish pub, but it is run by people who fell in love with the pubs in Ireland. So it's about as Irish as you can get in Kentucky. So what I mean by that is it's got the spirit of an Irish pub, but also they have redneck people who show up and just treat it like any kind of like Kentucky bar, um, which is unfortunate. But I feel like there's a good balance there. I feel like it's a it's as close enough to a pub that I would like that it doesn't bother me that other people kind of just turn it into like a sports bar on the weekends and things like that. But different folks, different things. Okay, Larry says, I am a slightly educated redneck. It means that I don't wrestle alligators. I feel like that's where I fit into. Like, I don't count myself as a redneck, but also I feel like I'm a bit of a redneck. Um, Hater says, Jeremy, in short, you're one conditional introvert. I am an introvert, and I am conditional as well. I don't know what the conditions are, but yes. I don't mean to be an introvert. It's just I don't know. You hear like I feel like I'm better than I used to be. Like there was a time, maybe I don't know, even when I was a teen, I guess I was a lot more introverted. I feel like back then you had more opportunities for like social engagements and like maybe it was harder because like I don't know, you're like a teenager and you're just like you know overwhelmed to begin with and things like that. Like it is hard being a teenager. Like it did not work well for me. I did not enjoy it. But as an adult, you're kind of forced into social situations whether you want to or not. And so like I I have through my adult life and through my career and things like that, I have forced myself to be more social than I'm naturally am. So like it is hard for me, or it was harder for me than it is now because I've conditioned myself. But it was very hard for me to start a YouTube channel and be on air and talk to you guys and like ramble on like I do. Like where a lot of times I'm just like rambling and stuff. That's all hard for me. Um, but I feel like I've gotten better at it over time just because I've kind of desensitized myself to the concerns that I had, which is, I don't know, that my face would melt or something. That was always my concern. But you can ask anybody that I know, like even I work from home now, but even when I was working at like an office and stuff like that, man, I dreaded those meetings. Like you can ask anybody I know that like I was the guy who like, oh, can we do this in an email? You know, like the old joke is like that could have been an email with the meeting and stuff. But for me, is like, man, I would love this to just be an email, so I don't have to go to this meeting where I'm just super nervous and stuff like that. You know, and I don't even know why. There's no real reason for it. It's just the way it is. Um, like uh, all those social anxieties and stuff. I think uh, the older I get, it's easier to manage. But back then, it was like really bad. But I think it's mostly anticipatory. So like I would be concerned that I would have to go and do like a meeting, a stand-up meeting where I'd have to talk to people, and I would stress about that all throughout the day, especially if the meeting was in the afternoon. If it was in the morning, it was a little bit easier, but if it was in the afternoon, um, I would be stressed about it like all freaking day until the actual meeting comes and stuff, and I'd go in there and I'd feel like my head was uh like swollen and I was really like concerned that physically I might pass out or something like that. But the truth of it is, it's all mental. It is completely all mental. Like, if you're having anxiety or something like that, there may be like physical um, manifestations of that. Like, obviously your heart may rate may increase. You may get sweaty palms or something like that. But it's still mostly a mental thing. And here's the thing that worked for me. Like if anybody else suffers this kind of stuff, and like I said, I still struggle with it, but I've gotten better at it. Um, if you suffer from kind of like social anxiety, the best thing I can say is that you have to like let yourself know, and it's very tough when you're in the moment and you're you're suffering from anxiety or something like that. But it's temporary, and it's hard to convince yourself that it's temporary, but it's true. Like and they've done studies and stuff like that. Anxiety attacks, they don't last very long, maybe like 15 minutes or so at tops. So the period of anxiety where you feel like you're going to die and your face is going to explode or you're just going to melt off or you just feel like you're going to pass out or something like that, it's short and it goes away. And the truth of it is, like in those meetings, when I would go to those meetings and stuff, and I felt like I was gonna die, um, 15 minutes into it, it's fine. Like I never talked to anybody about this kind of stuff. But the truth of it is, if like my managers or my bosses or something like that, just like let me just sit there for 15 minutes without talking about anything at all. Just sit there for 15 minutes and go through this, then I will be the most effective public speaker ever because like the truth of it is these things really don't last very long. And you're gonna get over it. Like I'm talking to the people out there that suffer social anxiety. The truth of it is that you will get over it. You're not going to die. Your face isn't going to explode. You're like your head's not going to like just pop off and roll off down the street or something like that. It's not going to happen. And, you feel like it's going to, but it's not. Um, but yeah, that's the kind of introvert I am, and I still suffer from these things. But it's also like the only way through it is to force yourself to do things that are uncomfortable, and that's why I'm doing this. Like that's why I'm here on YouTube. That's one of the reasons. There's a lot of benefits of doing this show and talking with you guys and stuff like that. But um, one of them is I practice my skills and I get better at those. But truthfully, just the whole talking to people and stuff like that, it's enormously beneficial because um, you should my very first episode. I don't know. I think I hit it pretty well. But I was a little bit nervous. My very first stream, but I don't feel that way now. I hop on here and I do my pictures with you guys, and I don't feel stressed out about it the least bit. So I do believe in like it probably doesn't work for everything, right? Like I don't want to oversimplify people's problems and stuff like that, but I feel like for me, it's important to it's important to do things that make me feel uncomfortable. Like like last Friday when the stream got glitchy and stuff like that. Man, That sucks, right? What do? You can't do anything about it, so you just roll with it. I feel like that's the kind of stuff that's actually good for me is to like, be faced with in Star Trek, they're called a Kobayashi Maru. Like for those of you who like Star Trek, it's the no-win scenario. Where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. I like forcing myself into those kind of situations where it's like, well, okay, I mean, this is happening, and what can you do about it? It's like, and you just get over it. Um, I don't know. Like, I feel like if I'm not doing art, the other thing I'm doing is like having those kind of conversations with people because I do think they're important, Like, I can talk to you about creating art, but I also feel like I have a thing or two to say about, I don't know, like just coping in the world. So that's what I do. I come on here and I just talk about things, and hopefully some of this stuff resonates with you guys. I think this kitty looks softer now. You guys were you guys were worried for no reason. He's a cute little kitty. Adorable little Jaxie. I don't know his like I don't know what his nickname is, but I'm gonna call him Jaxie. He doesn't look as rough anymore. From dog's like, I think I owe that cat money. He's not coming for, he's not here to collect. He's soft, he's cuttable. Come on, my guys. The owner of this cat is probably so the owner of this cat is from the UK, so I think he watches it in the mornings, or in the mornings for the US and stuff like that. But uh, he'll probably come in here and be like, "Why does everybody think is it like the cat's angry?" I'm like, "Oh no, nah, this cat's adorable." So I feel like this line here shouldn't be here. So this is where I said you can kind of like erase things. So like you can kind of see on here this line that's coming across. That's not in the actual picture. So you can make adjustments. So see how I'm just kind of like erasing that dark line that accidentally ended up in there? Redirecting a little bit, just kind of mopping it around. That's what I love about copy. Like you can do that at any point until you add like there's kind of like a sealer that I add before I send these things out to people and like into the world. Um, but until you do that, you can literally move things around like that, which I think is cool. Very cool. Yeah, I think that looks better. Um, do something that scares you every day. Exactly. If you don't take a step, people will see your amazing. If you don't take a step, people won't see your amazing personality. Thank you, Larry. Um, and I believe that applies to everybody. So, like, everybody in here has an amazing personality. Let the world see it. And, some of these things practically you have to live in this world, and this world expects you to be a certain way. So, you have to, like, kind of like make yourself work in this world, find some way of making things work. And I think challenging yourself is the way to go about it because you never know what your limits are, really. Like there are things that I've done in this in my life that surprise me. Like I am surprised that I've accomplished these things. Like a lot of you guys in here participated in that treasure hunt in the Rocky Mountains. I know like a lot of you guys are from that community. Um, so that's a great example. So with that treasure hunt, I here in Kentucky picked a spot in the Rocky Mountains. I don't know how many thousands of miles away, but it was like a 20-hour drive, um, that far away. And I'm like, I'm going to get to that spot. And, you know, I made it happen. Like I hopped in the car and I drove out there and I did it. Like there's a lot of people who would never do that. They would sit there and they would just rot away in their cubicle and at some office or something like that. Or, you know, they would never challenge themselves to live in a life full of adventure. And I'm not unique in this. Like a lot of you guys share the same experience, but you guys You guys know what I'm talking about. You got in that car or on that plane or whatever, and you went to your spot out. And it doesn't matter that it was the wrong spot. Like the spot I went to, there was no treasure there. Like there could have been, but there wasn't. But I think that's awesome. Like you hop in your car and you go on an adventure. And it's not the last adventure I'm going to do. One of these days I'm going to probably, head down to South America and go looking for some Mayan treasure or something like that. I have no idea. Not going to be anytime soon, but hopefully someday I will. I have, I've always had a fascination with the Egyptian pyramids. I don't think that it's a good idea to travel out there right now, but someday I would like to go and visit the Egyptian pyramids. That's an adventure. I know that probably one day I'll get around to doing it just because I do like to challenge myself with things that I don't know. Like sitting here right now, if you ask me, "Hey Jeremy, you ever going to go to Egypt and check out the pyramids?" If I were being honest, I'd be probably like, "No, I don't think that's in the cards." But the truth of it is, just saying that makes me think, yeah, maybe it actually is in the cards. Maybe I will go and do that thing that I don't think is possible or likely or, you know, like some days I wake up and I'm like, what am I going to do today? I don't really know. What do I see myself doing today? I really don't know. And then I picture something absurd and, I'm like, man, that's probably not going to happen. And then I just make it happen. I love doing that. And here's another example. So like, I don't eat a lot of apples. I love the taste of apples. Apples are great. I love apples. They're the simplest of all the foods out there. The health benefits of eating apples cannot be understated. All these great things about apple. Literally, there's this whole saying like eat an apple a day keeps the doctor away. There's nothing bad about apples. Apples are the greatest thing ever invented, right? But for some reason I don't have any apples in my house. I'm just not a person who buys apples. Mostly it's because whenever I buy something perishable, I I forget to eat it and then it goes bad and I have to throw it away. So like I don't have a lot of perishable stuff. Like even when it comes to vegetables and stuff, I have mostly frozen vegetables. I don't buy a bunch of vegetables, fresh vegetables and things like that. They're all frozen in my house, right? So I'm only mentioning that because there are no apples in this house, right? So sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm going to set a little challenge for myself. I'm like, at some point today, I'm going to have an apple. And I'm not even going to think about how that's going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. At some point in time today, I'm going to have an apple. Now, there's no apples in my house. I don't plan on going anywhere. I don't plan on doing anything that involves apples. There's no apple festival going on or anything like that. It's just a little challenge I make up for myself, right? And then I go about my day and I try to forget about it. And the truth of it is, when I set that goal for myself, it just kind of takes root in my mind. Like it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I could be the busiest guy. I can have all these other plans. There's all these other things that I might end up having to do and that I might get done or whatever. But at some point during that day, I'm going to have that apple just because it's like this weird challenge I set for myself. Um, it's hard to explain, really. It really is hard to explain, but that's that's how I like to live my life. I like to live my life challenging myself with, dumb things like I'm gonna have an apple today, even though I don't have any apples in my house. Somehow, some way, I'm gonna get an apple. And then apples are pretty easy to come by. Like you go to a store or whatever, you can get an apple. I like to really challenge myself sometimes, where I'm like, I don't know, think of something that's like rare or something like that, like something that's not anywhere in my normal day to day life. I can't think of any examples, but I might give myself one of those as a goal or something like that. And then it's a little bit elevated. It's no longer an apple. It's like, man, I've really got this mission I've set up for myself where I really want to go about making that happen. But it's so funny. I set up these missions for myself all the time. I don't like to just live a normal, boring life. I like to go on missions. Like I don't even like going to to a park anymore unless there's like some reason, like looking for treasure or like some geocache or something like that. I always feel like there's got to be some mission or something that I'm trying to accomplish. Like when I go to the store, um, there's like some obscure item that I know is probably out of stock that I want to get, and it's like I won't settle until I've gone to all the stores and looked in all the stores for that one item or something. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but hopefully you get the idea. Like that's how you live an interesting life, because you just kind of challenge yourself and give yourself like like dumb challenges, really. Like today I'm going to get an apple. Like how dumb is that? That's pretty dumb, right? Thanks, Ida. Yeah, I always forget to say that. If you're enjoying yourself, if you like watching angry cats come to life, I still think this is a nice, soft, adorable kitty. But if you think he's an angry cat, um, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. If you like watching angry cats come to life, and you just like listening to me drone on about nothing, um, you know, consider subscribing. Otherwise, if you're just having a good time and tonight, and you like what you see, just give it a little like. I always forget to say those things. Apparently, they matter to YouTube. I don't know. YouTube YouTube cares about promoting certain things over others. I just like drawing and making pictures. I don't worry too much about the stats. Although one of these days I will have enough watch hours, and then I'll be happy. Um, oh yeah, I mentioned a little while back. I have like 24 hours of these coffee paintings. Can you believe it? Like, um, I guess I mean, it makes sense. I've done more than 12, and it usually takes about 2 hours per picture, or at least I'd spend 2 hours streaming while working on them. And I've gotten like 24 hours worth. So I was thinking it'd be kind of cool to like repurpose those videos maybe, and like do a live stream where I'm streaming for like 24 hours, maybe with some cool music or something like that. Just painting coffee pictures. No commentary, no nothing going on. It's just something you would play in the background or something like that while you're doing other things. I think I might do that. I think that'd be kind of fun. Get some little fur coming up the sides here. We're starting to get some definition to the face, which I like. I think that's kind of cool. I think he does look a little bit softer, which is cool. Yeah. Um, have a good one, Tim. Take it easy. Uh, Steve says, "Sounds good, bro." Yeah, I like Steve. Steve's cool. Hmm. Eat up some tacos and wrestle a gator. That's definitely some Florida activity there. Caramel apple. That sounds good. Kid says, Jeremy, cut your apple in slices, put a sandwich baggie, and sprinkle in with cinnamon. Give it a bag of the best. Yeah, that does sound great. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know why I don't keep it like that. Actually, apples don't really expire as quickly as like some of the other vegetables. The problem is, I would buy fresh vegetables, and I just can't keep them fresh. Like, I want to go and buy a bunch of vegetables, but there's not like a lot of people in this house. It's not like I have any, like, an army of kids or something that I'm trying to feed. Um, so they don't stay fresh unless you like eat them right away. I would like to be, I'll tell you what I'd like to be. I'd like to be one of those guys, right? I don't know if they have farmer markets where you guys live, but they have farmer markets around here because like it is rural area. So we have literal farms. But on the weekend they have these farmers markets where, people do bring in fresh fruits and vegetables and stuff. I'd like to be that guy who goes to the farmer's market and picks up the vegetables he plans to eat for that week. And then, like you always see them in the movies where they go and they buy their fresh vegetables, and they buy their like little baguettes or something like that. They have their sack that they carry back to their house or their apartment or something like that. And it's all the food that they plan to eat for that week. I would love to be that guy. Um, instead of the guy who I don't really do this. I don't go to Costco, but I am more the type of guy who would go to Costco and just load up like a month worth of dry goods or something like that. I don't know. It seems like it's freezing up. Give me a moment. Hopefully this will recover. No. Ah, it messed up again. Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can figure this out. What did I do the last time? Um, go main camera, properties. There you go. Go back to main camera. Okay, I fixed that. Neat. All right. I think I'm getting better at this. Nope, that's not gonna work. Overhead camera. Ah, it's the overhead camera that's not working. All right, how do I fix this? Let me go into this. That's all working. See if I can fix this by going to that. Nope. I'm gonna fix this. Properties. Deactivate, activate. Nope, that's not gonna do it. Figure video. All right, guys, we'll figure this out. Give me 1 moment. Sorry about this. We were doing so good. All right, let me see if I can. See if I do this, and then right back in. Well. Hmm. Well, that's not working. Try something else. We'll get this working, guys. Sorry. Otherwise, like we're pretty good on this. We'll Hey, there we go. Look at that. Ah, fix it in real time. Look at that. Come on, guys. Let's get a. I'm awesome. Oh, sorry, Barry. Don't get excited. All right, sorry it took so long. All right, but I was able to recover that in real time. Everything's working, right? We're good. All right, sorry. Okay, anyway, back to doing my picture. There you go. See, this is what I'm talking about. You never know what you're gonna have to deal with in life and stuff. And like, in the past, I may have like looked at them with a little bit of anxiety or something like that. But this time, no. I got the dogs all riled up. Sorry about that, but yeah, that's a weird situation. I'm not sure why that is happening, but it's only been recently, so maybe it'll go away. I don't know, but at least now I know how to fix it, so that's cool. Or at least I'll try to remember how to fix it. Grilled cinnamon apples does sound good. Yeah, so grilled cinnamon apples. I have basically any kind of baked apples, any kind of hot apples, any kind of cooked apples, like apple pie. Oh man, that sounds good. Apple pie is good. I like apple salads too. I like apples combined with other things, like cranberry, apples, and walnuts. Those are all good combinations, especially like in a salad or something. I love that. Yeah. Sorry about that technical glitch, but at least we recovered this time. I didn't have to restart the stream. That's what sucked about last time is that I had to restart the stream and all that. Like I feel like if that happens every now and then, that's not a big deal. But we'll get it worked out. All right. So I think this guy looks in. How are we doing on time? Yeah, I feel like this guy looks good enough as a cat. Oh yeah, so Costco did. Wait, they have Costco's over in the UK? I didn't know that. That's amazing. Yeah, so like they have those rotisserie chickens at so around here they have like Walmart and and Kroger and places like that. So they have those rotisserie chickens around here. I feel like they just started doing that in the last couple of years, but like in the last decade or whatever. But that is amazing. That is brilliant. Like you come home from work, you've had a long day, you don't really want to cook anything. Just popping one of those, buying one of those already done rotisseries and just popping that on a plate. It's great. Yeah, the kitty has softened up. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. So this is where I want to get some of the style elements in here, just to see how we're going with this. And then I do want to kind of get some more darker areas that might pull through here. Because like this area should be really dark. So hopefully some of that stuff just dries. So what I really like about this coffee stuff, and Kid can attest to this. That's too many K's. Kid can attest to this. The final product and stuff. When you get the coffee pooling in certain areas, it looks really cool. Like it really does a lot to make it like really visually interesting to have the pooled coffee just sitting there. Like hopefully this dries and stuff and like a big old pool. I like that kind of stuff. Yeah, the kitty's looking a little scoopable. I don't know, like kitty and scoopable like makes me think of the litter. Does look a lot, yeah, does look a little bit adorable, but got a little ways to go. Um, Probably will get a lot of this done tonight, but you know how it is. Like sometimes I have to let it dry before I put in, final features and things like that. I don't know. I'm just super impressed that I was able to recover from that glitchiness. So what did I do to recover? I got to remember that for future. Um, I think. So what I did was I unplugged the webcam from the USB port and then replugged it in, and I think that did it. Which is a little risky when you're doing like a live stream. You probably shouldn't be messing with your equipment while doing a live stream, but hey, whatever works. Kitty still looks all knowing and wise. I like it. Looks like a cat that just got paid. so so he was mad because like you owed him money, and then now he's less mad because he actually got paid because you paid him. That's great. I love that. I was like forming a narrative around these guys. Um, there was a show I watched when I was a little kid. I don't know if it. I felt like it was on whatever the whatever PBS was back then, but whatever the equivalent of that is. The the show had a pastel artist, and he was super fast. He was really good at it. And what he would do is he would tell a children's story while painting with pastels, and he was quick enough to where he would talk about what's occurring in a scene while he's creating that scene, and then he would move on to another scene and stuff, and it was all kind of like really seamless and everything. And I love that. I would love to be able to take this channel in that direction if I could, work that fast. You know, where I'm drawing something that has to do with the story, and then you know I'm moving on to like another aspect of the story or something like that. That would be great. That would be awesome because I love the storytelling aspect of it. Like I love telling a story about this kitty while I'm working on it. Hader says, Jeremy, the Costco has established its presence in the United Kingdom with a significant number of stores across the country. That's amazing. There are currently 29 Costco locations spread throughout the various regions. See, I love things like that. So I don't know if I'll ever get over to the UK, but I love hearing about how it is in the rest of the world. You know, for some reason, stories about the rest of the world, like hearing from you over in the UK, the person who I'm doing this picture for is from the UK as well. Um, hearing from Ida over in New Zealand. I mean, it's just amazing to me. I love to hear that kind of stuff because it really opens up the world to me because like a lot of times you get kind of stuck in your own little corner of the world. Like if you read the US news these days, it's not great. It's nice to hear about other people in the other you know, in the rest of the world and how things are going. Yeah, honestly, like US news is just terrible. It's just terrible all the time. There's never anything good in the news. I would like to just skip this year. Like, I hate election years. I'm not a big person on politics and stuff. I would just like to skip over it. Um, but like, you know, man, all the conflicts in the world, what, you know, not all of them really involve the US, but somehow we get involved in them. It's just terrible. It's just all bad news. Would just like to skip over it. I like that's ear. Should do political cartoons on this. It'd be great. Because I don't care about politics. It would be great to like actually do like some political cartoons and stuff just for fun. I do have this even though I don't care about like some of the stuff that is covered in the news, I have a parody streak to me. I like to parody things. I would love to do what I would think is like humorous parodies and stuff that aren't meant to be taken seriously, but I'm sure somebody would. That would be fun. Just make like little joke cartoons and stuff. Um, I heard that that's a dying form of art, actually. Political cartoons. The reason why is because those are mainly for newspapers, and yeah, newspapers are kind of. I mean, it's no secret. Newspapers are kind of like dying um, due to the internet. And you never really think about like the other casualties, like the kind of like cumulative damage of entire industries going out of business. But in addition to like actual news and stuff, there's a long-standing tradition of political commentary through cartoons and you know like or even like things like Garfield, since we're doing a cat, or Heathcliff and you know Dagwood and Blondie and all of these Dennis the Menace, all of these uh all of these Sunday morning cartoons and stuff that you would get in the Sunday paper and stuff. I mean, where are those artists now? I don't know. Like some of those probably are still around. I'm just saying that like these are these are things that aren't going to be around forever, which is sad when you think about it. Things change, so like something's going to replace it. So it's like it's not all bad news, but it is kind of strange when you think about it. It's like, wow, Garfield. What is going to become of Garfield now that there's fewer Sunday papers? You know, so weird. Like I used to read the paper just for the comics. You know, yeah, Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yeah, exactly. So, Larry, I sent Jeremy some better Coon Room pictures. Yeah, so like Yeah, if that's, I haven't read my email, but I asked a kid if I could post those to the community tab. But yeah, I'll definitely post those up tomorrow. That room is looking amazing. I love that raccoon room. It's like, will you adopt me, kid? I want to come and live in your raccoon room. It's so cool. I love that room. That's so amazing. Like, I honestly, like in my mind, it's the perfect bed and breakfast room. You know, like you you do like themed rooms or something for a bed and breakfast. That's what I would do. I would do like a coon room. It's great. Um, Kid Francis was a mean cat, but he's calmed down so much. I feel like this cat's calmed down a little bit. He's not as mean anymore. It's because like I spent so much time doing the brow up, and now that you see the rest of the features and stuff, the brow's not as prominent. I think Beetle Bailey, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Um, Trusted Living says my mom was a big Garfield fan. I feel like Garfield's probably going to survive the changes and stuff, but what about the next Garfield? Like, there's not going to be any new Garfields. If you get what I'm saying, what I'm saying is that like the Sunday morning cartoon, not the Sunday morning cartoon, but the Sunday paper cartoon, it's gone. And then I started talking about the political cartoons. That too is gone. I read a I read an article recently talking about how some of these guys who's done this for like 30, 40 years or whatever, and been in the industry 30, 40 years, they're wondering what they're supposed to do with their lives now. Like I feel like there's still going to be some political cartoons out there, but also there's some other conditions, contributing to that. So, part of it is like with the cartoons that, like people don't read papers as much anymore. So that's one contributing factor. But when it comes to the political cartoons, it's like, the political situation is so volatile. Like people are so fighting mad over things that the newspapers look at it as like, well, there's really no point in running a political cartoon that's going to alienate half of our readers because that's what we're living in right now, right? That's the country that we're living in where half of the people disagree with the other half. It's basically 50-50. So imagine running a paper where half of your readers disagree with the other half of the population. Um, they're just like, well, I'm just not even going to deal with this. Let's just cancel that cartoon. So that's what you're dealing with in terms of like political cartoons in the art world, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird situation because like I mean, you know, even if it was a political cartoon that made fun of like somebody I thought was cool, like a candidate that I was into, I still thought it was funny. People have lost their sense of humor. That's the problem. People need to people need to realize that life is just kind of funny. It's not as serious as people think it is. I don't know. There are some serious things in the world. Don't get me wrong and stuff, but like also even this most serious things you should take with a grain of like humor. That's my outlook. Like really, honestly, like I would rather find something funny than get mad about it. There are some super serious things in the world, but also super serious things in the world. You should probably poke some fun at. My friend who's battling cancer and stuff, super serious, right? Completely super serious. Um, but you know what? Like the first thing I said to her was, "Hey, you look good bald." Like you should have shaved your head a long time ago. Um, because it's also funny, like or you should apply humor to it or something. Levity, I think it's a word. Even the serious things you should apply levity to. Or that's the way I've always looked at it. Maybe it's tasteless humor or something like that. Maybe it's not for the best, but I've always erred on the side of funny. Um, she's got a good sense of humor though. Like you have to kind of weigh the recipient of the joke, like to make sure that they're not going to be offended by it. Definitely when it comes to politics, you need to weigh the recipient of the joke. But yeah, yeah, politics. I don't know if politics is very serious nowadays or. Oh, Kit System, welcome to stay in the coon room. That's awesome. Yay. I don't know if I'll get to that, but like that sounds great. That's cool. I mean, it just is such a cool room that like it is the place that people should want to stay in. Anyway, um, Trusted Living says, yes, politics is very serious nowadays. Yes, it is. And my argument would be, should it be? You know, like some of these politicians, they don't even take it seriously. So, like, why should we? Like, I don't think that people should get angry with each other over politics. It's like, it is serious stuff. Like, people are seriously struggling. And politics is the only way to solve that. But also, it's like, I don't feel like people should be as fighting mad over it as they are. I feel like people should chill out and realize that we're all in this together. We, um, you know, for you foreigners, you guys who are not part of the United States experiment, I'm talking to the United States people here for a moment. Look, guys, we're in this together. You know, we are all part of this grand experiment. Um, nobody on this world knows what's going on. Nobody knows the right answer. We're doing the best with it we can. Um, Maybe you don't like your politicians. I don't like most of my politicians. I live in Kentucky. They're all terrible. Uh, but it is what it is, you know, and you just do your best and stuff. There's no reason to hate on each other. Uh, Especially like family, like people are mad at their family over politics and stuff. Like, give it a rest. Just let it go. Relax. That's what I'm saying. There you go. Just let it go. Chill out. I apply that to politics, religion, all the stuff you're not supposed to talk about at the kitchen table. Just let it go. Chill out. You'll be fine. It's not the end of the world. This year will go by. Guess what? There'll be another year. There'll be another 4 years. It's all good. Anyway, um, my sourdough bread turned out exceptionally well after nearly a full day of diligent effort. That's awesome. I like the projects that Hater gets up to. Like, Hater, man, you need to start your own YouTube channel, really. First off, I want to hear your cursing parrot, cursing Cockney parrot. I want to hear that. And then I also want to see some of these other projects that you talk about, like sourdough bread. That sounds cool. Like, I feel like you should do a cooking show. I would watch the crap out of that. Yeah, I feel like some of these areas need to dry before I can get some of the detail in them. But we got a pretty happy looking cat going so far. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we got a little bit of time. Our government is financing, but even like to watch the news anymore. It looks like it's crapping out again. Give me a moment. Yeah, there you go again. All right, let's see. I think it was this. Give me 1 second. I'll get this working. And if not, like I'll figure out how to fix this in the future. Nope, that's not gonna work. Oh, hosting a dinner for us. That sounds awesome. Hey, I think I remember all the steps. There we go. Neat. Got that back. Let's see, drag this down here. Oh, main camera's messed up. Let's see, how do I fix that? There you go. Look at that. I recovered drone once again. Anyway, sorry about that. I need to fix that kind of stuff. Anyway, we'll figure it out for the future. Anyway, we only got like a little bit of time left on this video anyway. It just kind of sucks because when I go to do my time lapse picture, it's going to be kind of glitchy, and I'm going to have to spend some time working on that. But this seems to be a combination between my local computer and also YouTube. Like I'm looking at the stats and stuff here, and it's talking about like like configuring the primary and backup streams and stuff like that. That's on the YouTube side, so it's weird. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like we've had a good conversation tonight. It kind of sucks. Like I don't want the video to crap out on us. Maybe I'll do some test streams between now and Thursday when I come back and stuff and get this stuff sorted out. We'll figure it out. The important thing is not to worry about it. That's been the theme of tonight. The theme is don't worry about it. It's all good. Who cares if your stream isn't working? It's all good. Oy. Oh, Hater says that we're all invited to his house for dinner. I mean, that's pretty much what he said. Oh, Trust is having a campfire in his yard. I love that kind of stuff. I am totally into that. So I have a big cast iron um, uh, tub, I guess. It's like, or like a big cast iron pot. I use that as like a fire pit. I love, especially on nights like this where it's basically 50 degrees out, I think, last time I checked. Um, I love weather like this. This is perfect weather for having a campfire. Like if I wasn't doing this, I would be doing that. Just go out there with a beer. Like I like to drink bourbon while I'm doing art, but otherwise I like to drink beer. But go out there with a beer, just sit and reflect. I love looking at fire. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sort out what that issue is with the crazy video thing. But at least I'm able to recover from it. That's cool. I figured that out. Kind of sucks because I need to be able to duplicate the conditions for it. That's what always sucks with debugging things. So like I work on web stuff all the time, and I need to be able to recreate the conditions of something in order to be able to like solve the problem or at least know that I fixed it. Like I had thought that I had already fixed that problem. So how do you recreate those issues? Like do you just run a dummy stream for 2 hours just to see if it craps out? I don't know. I'm gonna have to put some thought into that. I don't want this to be the new norm. I don't want it to be that I have to reset the video every time. I feel like over here, I want to kind of want this cat to be kind of like off to the side here. I'll tinker with that some more, but these are some changes I want to make. But I kind of want to redirect this cat to be kind of like let's get some. There you go. All right. I kind of want him off to the side a little bit. Of course, I got coffee all in my lap now, but that's okay. The sourdough starter I've been using for my bread making, it's nearly 16 years old. I would love to know more about sourdough starting. Like I know that that became like a big trend during the COVID lockdowns. I would love to know more about that. I have some friends who do the whole sourdough thing. I wish that was something that I knew more about. Just get some smeared coffee going over here. Like you can't really mess this up. This is what I'm saying. This is what's so great about this stuff. Like some of the art that I do, yeah, you can absolutely screw it up, but you can't really screw up this coffee stuff because it's meant to be. The metaphor here is that you spill coffee on your paper and it ends up becoming art, right? You can't really screw it up when it's already like the pretense is that it's an accident to begin with. Like you accidentally spilled your coffee and it became a cat. like, like literally, that's what you're going for here. Um, so you can't really screw this up. Where's Ida at? Ida was talking about maybe doing a coffee painting. Look, Ida, you can't screw this up. You have to do this. Or other people out there who are interested in art, do a coffee painting. It's so much fun. I mean, you could screw it up. You can screw it up. You can probably turn it into like a bad picture, but it's really difficult. Like there's some bubbles in here. Normally, if you introduce bubbles into a painting, that's bad, right? But no, these things they dry like these little like kind of cool little craters. Um, they add like a little bit of texture to the picture and stuff like that. You literally cannot screw up a coffee painting. The only way you can screw up a coffee painting is like phoning it in, like not spending any time with it. That's how you can screw it up. Yeah, I've done some bad coffee paintings in the past. That's how I did them. That's how I screwed them up. You can screw them up by not exploring them to the depth that they can be explored. Otherwise, it's really hard to screw up a coffee painting. I feel like I need to get into sourdough baking. The only bread that I've ever created is like what do they call it? I don't know what they call it, but it's basically like it's really simple. You just mix the yeast and the dough and the water and maybe some olive oil and you form like some balls and you put in like a cast iron Dutch oven. I don't know what the name is for that, but it's really simple and it comes out so good. I love bread. I'm a big bread person, by the way. Like, forget about all the carbs and stuff they tell you, like, oh, you shouldn't eat a lot of carbs. Screw all that. I love bread. I'm a huge bread person. I will never not eat bread. I don't care how bad it is for you or anything like that. And my understanding is it's only bad for some people. Like some people like are I don't know if the proper term is allergic. Some people have issues with bread, that whole like gluten thing or whatever. That's not me. I don't care about all that stuff. I would love to eat bread. I love the taste of bread. I love um like I can go and eat a loaf of bread and that's all I eat for the entire day and I'm happy. I'm satisfied. That's me. I love that stuff. I love sourdough, by the way. Sourdough's good. You know, we can't come to your house, hater, but you can send us sourdough bread. You can ship that stuff to us. I'm uh, I'm getting hater hooked up with like some customers here. I would love to get some of that sourdough bread. Um, bread is pretty normal. I've only made unleavened bread. I don't know how to make that. I made biscuits and stuff. I guess that counts as bread too. The big loaf that you make in the Dutch oven and stuff. I love making that. I used to make pizza dough a lot. I'm telling you, I've got the best pizza dough or pizza sauce recipe. If you guys are ever interested, it is the best. But yeah, I used to make pizza dough all the time, and the type of bread I'm thinking of, it's basically pizza dough recipe. It's basically the same kind of like flour, water, yeast combination. Not a lot of thought to it. How are we doing on time? Yeah, I think I should wrap this up pretty soon. We're getting at the 2 hour mark, and I think this kitty is mostly done. There's some features that I probably add to it, some details and stuff like that. But I think for the most part, most of the features of the cat is there. He does look a lot more cuddly, right? It's not just me. Like you could theoretically think he's still evil, but I don't think so. I think this guy's adorable. Um, so probably once this dries and it's not so blotted, I'll add a little bit more definition through here so that you can see that jawline, I guess. Yeah, jawline. Um, Probably clean this area up a little bit, but for the most part, and maybe like get the eyes a little bit more. Like I'll probably use some gel pen, I guess, for getting the whites of the eyes in here because I do think that those would really make it shine. Get some features going in here, some stylistic features. I just love adding little areas that kind of pull together. I think that's probably good through there. I love how I always say like, yeah, I think this is a good place to wrap up, and then I add more stuff to it. So just like letting this area pull here is going to like really make that dark, and I like doing things like that because it really does dry as a pool. Like it's hard to explain this. You really have to see one of these in person. Um, it really is like it's it's like syrup really on the paper, and creme brulee is the thing that comes to my mind. It's this kind of crust to it. In fact, like if you didn't seal this and you didn't protect it and stuff, I would be concerned about it flaking because it is kind of like a crust. It's just so cool. I love painting and coffee. It's so much fun. Achieving the ideal crust for sourdough bread is impossible without the use of a Dutch oven. There you go. Now we're talking. I love taking dough and putting it in the oven in a Dutch oven. I just love cast iron in general. Cast iron is my favorite go-to like skillet. It's my favorite go-to pot. Cast iron is just awesome. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call this done for now. There's probably some changes I'm going to make to it, but I think this is probably a good stopping point. We are at the 2 hour mark, and I don't want to keep you guys up too late. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I think this was a good one, despite the technical glitches, which I'll continue to work on. Sorry about that, guys. I feel like this was a good conversation, and I had a good time. Hopefully, you guys did too. I'll try to get those technical glitches fixed before Thursday. I didn't realize they were like as when something happens, you think it's a one-off thing. You don't really think about it too much, but when things happen multiple times, you're like, oh, I got to really actually solve this. I don't know if I need to do like an update to my software or change out some equipment. I'll probably do that as well, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, got a kitty cat here. Yeah. Thanks, Hater. I appreciate it. Um, Hey man, I'm not kidding. I think you should start a YouTube show where you do your cooking and and just things in general. Like I think you got a great personality. I love the projects that you get up to. I would love to learn more about them. So anytime you start your YouTube channel, you let me know. For the rest of you guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this cat painted with coffee. I know it's kind of strange, like when if this is your first time watching somebody painting coffee, it's a lot like watercolor, but it's got some really cool effects to it. Like I love the way this pulls through here and creates this like little kind of almost like a crater, like if you were looking at this as like the texture of the moon or something like that, you got kind of like this little crater going on. You got these like little drops. It's just like these really cool effects that happen only when you paint in coffee. It's just really cool. And then the great thing about it is like you get to drink your coffee as you're working on it. It's great. Keep you up for days. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this cat. I've got a little bit more to do on it. It's not quite done. But I think it's good enough to call it an evening. Some of these areas will probably dry and pool and stuff. And like this is a little bit dark for like where it's at. I will probably maybe redirect that a little bit, kind of mop that out a little bit. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Tuesday night. Again, sorry about the technical issues. It is what it is. I'll work on it. We'll see what happens. But I had a lot of fun. This was cool. And like I said, this is Drawing People's Pets Week. So tonight it was this kitty cat. Later on in the week, Thursday, I'm planning on revisiting Larry's puppies. Those are done in watercolor and colored pencils. So hopefully we can get that finished up. It's going to be great. And, this weekend I'm going out to that horse show and maybe there'll be some art that comes from that. Stay tuned. And because Ada reminded me, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy watching this kind of stuff. I always forget to mention that. And probably if I mention it more, I might end up with more likes and subscribers. But anyway, this has been a lot of fun for me. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I will see you guys on Thursday. Have a good evening. Bye. Bye, Bear. Bye. Bye, guys. Thanks.